tonight at $45 a piece. That's ahead of their trading debut tomorrow. The ride-hailing service worth over $82 billion. Strong earnings after the closing bell from the cloud storage firm Dropbox and from the real estate site Zillow. Jobless claims last week down by 2,000, still near a 5-decade low. Oil giant Chevron bowing out of a bidding war with Occidental Petroleum, both trying to acquire the driller Anadarko, but Chevron will net a $1 billion fee for its efforts. And Toyota and Panasonic, which already build electric vehicle batteries together, plan on developing connected devices for your home. Tom Busby, CNBC.
Around here, everyone knows you need the right tool for the job. It's the difference between orders filled and orders missed, between return customers and product returns. That's why I order from Grainger. With over 250 local branches, will-call product pickup, and a time-saving mobile app, it's easy to get it right. When it comes to getting what you need, when you need it, Grainger's got your back. Call, click Grainger.com, or stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time for some straight talk. A phone with all the high-speed data you need is awesome. But 2 phones with unlimited data, that's double awesome. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get 2 lines with our ultimate unlimited plan for just $90. That's unlimited talk, text, and data on 2 lines for up to 45% less. All on America's best 4G LTE network. Multiply your savings with Straight Talk Wireless, everything for less.
At 60 gigs, we reserve the right to review your account for usage in violation of Straight Talk's terms and conditions. Savings may vary.
California headline news, 108 federal charges filed today against John Earnest, the 18-year-old accused of the mass shooting at a San Diego area synagogue. U.S. Attorney Robert Brewer gave details of the 911 call Brewer made to authorities.
Quote, I just shot up a synagogue. I'm just trying to defend my nation against the Jewish people.
Governor Newsom revising the state budget projection for the coming fiscal year, raising it $4.5 billion. The governor wants increased spending for K-12 education, homelessness issues, and wildfires. California Congressman Kevin McCarthy expressing concerns that Judiciary Committee Chairman Jerry Nadler is unfit for the job. McCarthy, the House Minority Leader, says Nadler wasted the committee's time by waiting 6 hours to accuse Attorney General Bill Barr of contempt of Congress. Glacier Point Road reopens tomorrow in Yosemite National Park. Mostly cloudy skies statewide with a few showers along the southern coast. Jeff Munn, California Headline News.
Another tip from First 5 California. Did you know that children who know more than one language demonstrate greater working memory, reasoning, and problem solving? If you speak more than one language, share it with your child. More at first5california.com.
Change happens when you choose it. You can choose treatment and change your addiction to opioids. Medication-assisted treatment, or MAT, is a proven treatment for opioid addiction that significantly reduces the rate of relapse. Learn more at choosemat.org and choose Change California.
Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Next stop, Graham Street. And Brian in the khaki shorts. Your GNL energy bill went up 60% this month. Seems like you'd want to know. Stand clear of the closing doors.
So, meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong, like increases to a recurring bill, then sends an alert to your phone and helps you fix it. Eno, another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. Capital One, what's in your wallet? See CapitalOne.com for details. Limitations apply.
Ontario Host Lions Club is hoping you'll come out to their 10th annual We Serve golf tournament. Check-in is 11 a.m. on Thursday, June 20th at Sierra Laverne Country Club. Ontario Lions supports 7 local charities and 8 area projects. Dean Munoz is the golf tournament chair. Give him a call at 909-481-1180. That's 909-481-1180. Come on out and golf at Sierra Laverne Country Club on June 20th to support the Ontario Host Lions. 909-481-1180.
Hey guys, this is Andrew Caravella. Just wanted to let you know that KCAA has a new listener line for all of you that have a phone. Now you can listen to KCAA in the grocery store, in the doctor's office, or when you want to pretend you're on the phone with someone just so that creeper will leave you alone. Call 720-835-3099 today and listen to your favorite KCAA radio shows. That number again, 720-835-3099. KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no caller or listener behind.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, It's time for the greatest real estate investment show ever. Here's the flip-flop investor himself, Todd Bayer.
We're on? Hey, everybody, this is the Flip-Flop Investor Show, and I am your host, Todd Bayer. Having a few technical difficulties on my end. I can't seem to hear anything. But,
I can't hear a thing. I can hear you.
You can hear me just fine. Well, that's great. So, anyway, for those of you who are new to the show, we get together every single week, talk about real estate investing here in the Inland Empire. And every week I like to get together with a local expert or a local investor and talk to them about who they are and what they do. And this week we have no stranger to the show and no stranger to KCAA. Good old friend of ours, Lisa Mailhot. How you doing today, Lisa?
Great. Thanks for having me back.
Of course. I mean, I couldn't think of anybody better to have on right now because
we can't hear each other.
because it's real estate sales week, right? I mean,
oh, there you go.
I don't know if it really is, but it sounds cool.
We'll go with it.
We should.
I think so.
I think
just going
so.
to tag that.
Tag it.
I'm going to make it the rest of the week. It's real estate sales week.
Real estate sales week. Welcome everyone to Real Estate Sales Week
You wanna buy a house?
2019. Yeah, want to buy a house? It's a buyer's market, right? Or I don't know.
Yeah, no.
What is that? Wait, okay, so
Okay, good
let's,
question.
Let's
do
throw
it.
that out.
Let's jump right
Let's
in.
just jump right in. Yeah. Okay. So people say that, like they say it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market.
Sure.
I know full well what these terms mean. However, I think some people in our audience would be curious to know, what does a realtor mean when they say it is a buyer's market?
So a buyer's market technically is anything over 6 months worth of inventory. So what is 6 months worth of inventory, right?
That's a big question.
So let's jump into that. So 6
right.
months worth of inventory or any month worth of inventory means that if no more homes came on the market starting now, it would take 6 months, 4 months, 5 months, whatever, to sell the rest of the homes that are on
at
the
the
market.
current rate of
at the
sale.
current rate of sale that
Yeah.
we're going right now.
That's a key thing to know,
right.
like, because I mean, I tend to like to look at that. That's a pretty strong indicator for me as to like what the market's doing as a whole, and it really ties into that supply and demand thing.
Absolutely.
You know, where if there's a lot of homes on the market and nobody's buying them, then there's no demand.
Absolutely.
You know, but
and that's exactly what it is. It's,
Yep.
it's all supply and demand. So technically, buyer's market is anything over 6 months worth of inventory. Seller's market is anything under 4 months worth of inventory, and then you just kind of have like your even steady market there at 5 months. But
Yeah.
we've been pretty steady, like 2 months worth of inventory for the last year. So it has been consistently a seller's market. Now, there's other things that also play into it.
Right.
Interest rates and affordability and,
Sure.
you know, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot more that plays into it.
Yeah, and obviously during like a seller's market, when it's a good time to be a seller, means that there's a lot of demand and not a lot of inventory.
Absolutely.
So therefore, pricing is usually going up,
Yep.
and usually the buyers that are coming to make offers, you're getting multiple offers
Right.
above asking price,
Right.
and you're getting well
Houses
qualified.
fly off the market,
yeah.
right? Houses sell
Yeah.
themselves in that kind of market. It doesn't take much of a professional to sell a house. They really do sell themselves. And so we have kind of been in that type of market in our local area. We've been in that type of market where you put a house up on the market and you are getting multiple offers.
Yeah.
Opening weekend, we're starting to see, we were seeing bidding wars and stuff like that. So we're actually starting to see a little bit of a shift in
Yeah.
that, where this kind of like overinflated sellers, I can just do whatever I want type of attitude
Yeah.
is starting to shift. And
Which is
it got a
good.
little bit out of control is what it was. It was just like we were just making up numbers at a certain point. In my
Yeah.
opinion, people were just making up numbers on what
Sure.
they thought they could sell their house for with no justification of
Well,
any
and you'd see it,
comparables.
like you'd see it because, I'm a data nerd. I'm sure you are
Yes.
too. Like you go on the MLS, you can look up things like list price versus sale price.
Right.
So like
Right.
you'd see a lot of agents were out there, they'd list the property at 450,000, and
Yeah.
it's like the top sale in the neighborhood was like 425. Like what are they thinking? Like
Right.
they're going to get 25,000 extra. Like what did the seller like go on Zillow to get their value or
Right. And I mean, we were like just a couple months ago, I sold one. The top sale was $395 and I sold it at $427 in
Wow.
opening weekend. 3 days, I had 3 offers over asking.
Well, we also had that FHA loan limit bump come in
Right.
not that long ago, so that helps.
Absolutely.
You know, and we were looking at a deal last night at the Let's Make a Deal meetup. For those of you that can't hear, there were some sirens outside. Sound like it was like Deal Alert or
They
something.
found
You
me.
know?
Oh.
Yeah, I know they found it. Oh, is that what it was? Okay. I was thinking Deal Alert. You're thinking they found me. I don't know. Different mentalities, let's
Right.
say. So on this deal we're looking at last night, it was in Corona. And like really the value of this home was right in line with what an FHA buyer could qualify for. And it was like, this would be like the maximum, the value of the home was because it was the maximum of a FHA buyer with a 3.5% down payment.
Absolutely. And that really broadens your buying pool, right?
Yep.
Like as soon as you cross that line, you've just limited the amount of buyers that you have options to selling to, unless if the FHA buyers have a little bit more money down, but that's not typically what we see. We typically see that 3.5%. If that's what they can get away with, then that's what they're gonna put down on the property. So
I realized we started jumping into like real estate 101
I know, right?
so fast, but some of the folks out there have no idea who you are and what you do. So we should let's go back to where we should have started.
Bring it back.
Because I was so like trying to figure out what was going on with the headphones and stuff. Like I just got discombobulated. So
we went right into deal week and
we did. Oh man, well, deal week has just been an exciting thing all week long. Man, I can't stop talking about it. So who are you?
So
you are
who
Lisa.
am
You're
I?
Lisa Mailhot.
I am. I'm Lisa Mailhot.
And you go by Mailhot, but it's like a French
name. I just ran into Quebec, right? So my dad's from Quebec originally, and so I think it's Mayo. I'm even going to mispronounce it. So for anybody who knows what it is, I apologize for butchering my own name.
Yeah.
I ran into somebody this last week who was from Quebec, and he said we're very well populated up there. I have lots of cousins in Quebec with the same last name, but I don't even know how to pronounce it. So I go by Mailhot.
I'm a 3-year high school French student. So, when I first saw your name, I thought it was...
Parlez-vous français?
Oui, je parle français, très bien. No, but I saw it and I was thinking Mayo.
Right, Mayo. I think you're right on.
But that's 3 years of high school French, which was years ago.
Well, you got me. So.
Yeah, and I do, have I know 13 words in French now. I used to be able to speak it.
For you. Yeah.
I still got that going for me. I was the treasury of the French club, or the treasurer of the French club in high school. That's how much of a nerd I am. For those of you out there that didn't already know that,
didn't already know. Yes.
That's how much of a nerd I actually am. Yeah. So
you'll use it someday. So Lisa,
I'm glad we have a native Canadian,
Quebecian. I'm pretty sure like the French don't like us, the Canadians don't like us. Whatever.
We're in
Americans.
betweeners.
Exactly. So Berkshire Hathaway, I'm a real estate agent. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway here locally in Redlands, the Perry Mundy Realty Group, and I actually started a team there. So I have the Dream Team.
The Dream Team at Berkshire Hathaway.
Berkshire Hathaway.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And no copyright infringement coming in from like Michael Jordan and all those guys.
No, not yet.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because they probably want to be working with you.
Right.
They're like, we're the Dream Team. We want to work with the Dream Team in real estate, right? Especially during deals week.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'd rather work with them than like the O.J. Simpson team, right?
Yeah,
That's probably not the way we want to go there.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. You got into real estate not to be a real estate agent, though. You came into real estate to be an investor.
Absolutely.
And so, this is the Flip Flop Investor Show.
Yeah.
You're not wearing flip flops, which I'm personally offended, but never mind that. We'll worry about that another time. But you came in to be an investor, and you became an agent sort of like in the process. So this is weird. Most people, that's not how it goes. So
exactly. And, and I do see that. I see a lot of agents that want to get into being an investor, and then not many investors that want to get into being agents. I'm very, very grateful that I started off as an investor. I learned how to do deals. I learned how to do flips. I made a huge network of amazing people, and I really saw it from that side of things. I spent years learning creative finance and really how to put a real deal together, how to actually market and sell properties and help people more than anything. And so then on the real estate agent side of it, it's very different and not nearly as creative. But because I've got that history and that background, I'm able to help everybody I come across. Whereas, your typical real estate agent might, if it's just out of their wheelhouse, there's not much they can do about it, right?
Right.
So
yeah, and I've met so many real estate agents that are so unfamiliar with all the other things you can do. They're just familiar with the one way of selling a house or buying a house.
Right.
Which
we put a sign in your yard and then we take phone calls.
Yeah, exactly. I put the property in the MLS and I take phone calls and and then I go to office meetings and look busy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it seems like for a lot of them.
Absolutely.
And I tend to put down agents on this show, which
I'm sure. So as an investor, I wasn't really fond of agents. As an agent, I'm not really fond of investors. So I can disapprove of myself on both sides of the coin there.
Well, like, and I've dealt with investors as like a seller before. Like, I've had a property where I'm trying to sell, and I have investors calling me about it, and I'm like, these are the most, like they know nothing. They do, like, these people spend no time trying to like get to know me as a seller. They like, these people are just, they're just like, I'll offer you $65,000. I'm like, okay, it's listed for $175. Okay, I'm an investor myself, and I know it could sell for $175. You're offering me $65, making no attempt to get to know me. Like, it's a no, and just don't ever call me again.
Right. And so it's the same thing with investors as there is agents, right? There's like experienced, knowledgeable, integrity, like good investors, and then the same as with agents. And so there's the professionals that know how to do their job, and then there's everybody else.
Yep. And it's like, I mean, I know as an investor, like, sometimes we're trying to put together creative deals, and like sometimes the seller knows a little bit more than their agent does. I've found where like there's a comment in the MLS that says like, this property has seller financing available, and then I'll call the agent and say, what do they have in mind for seller financing, and they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that is definitely a struggle, especially when you're trying to make a creative deal and you've got now two agents involved that don't know what they're talking about, right? So you have to explain to your agent what to do, who's then going to go explain it to another agent what to do, who's then going to portray that idea to the actual seller.
It's like playing telephone.
So,
like, can I just talk to the seller directly?
Right.
We've actually done that before, like in a couple of cases where like we're just like, can we just talk to the seller directly?
Yeah,
and
you can be in the room.
Yeah, you can be in the room, but I want to have a conversation with them directly, because I need them to exactly understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And I need to hear what they say back to me exactly, because like stuff's getting lost in translation.
Yeah, I've had other agents tell me that what I'm trying to do is illegal, or that there's no such thing, or that nobody would ever do that. And it's just because they don't know any better. In fact, I just took a call today from an agent who was calling for me to help her sell her house that she lives in. And I brought up a couple creative ideas, and I asked first, like, have you ever heard of this option, this option, this option? And she had not even the slightest clue what I was talking about. So, and that's a little bit harder, because now you have a professional that thinks that they know just enough to be dangerous, or so
it's odd to me that an agent would call another agent to list their home. Well, I have that good of marketing. Wow.
That I get a couple of calls a week from agents and brokers about calling me about my marketing.
Really?
Yeah.
And they're like, I want to list with you because
they want me to help them sell their house, or they want me to buy their house, or whatever. I mean, we offer different programs. As an agent, because I'm an investor, I can offer so much more. Like, I can buy your house. I can guarantee a sale of your house. And if I can't sell it, then I'm going to buy it. You know, it hasn't ever happened that I haven't been able to sell one, but I wouldn't mind buying them. So
yeah, exactly. So are you actually then currently looking for deals? Are you like trying to buy like investor deals?
Yeah, I'm always looking for deals, but what I found is that when I come across the deal, a lot of times I know that I can get the seller a better price by listing it on the market than what I'm going to make them an offer for. So they know my number. They have my number in the background. I'm more than happy to, make them an offer and close in 2 weeks. But ultimately, with what I know I can do as an agent, I know I can bring them more money.
Yeah.
So I come across that quite a bit. And at this point, I'm kind of going more towards the buy and hold investment type of opportunities rather than the fix and flips. They were a lot of fun, and I give you guys so much props for doing so well at them. I looked at your guys' business, and I was just like, I'm not going to compete. I'm just going to get out of the way.
Yeah, it's fine. Well, we're out of the way now, so anybody can come into the market, and we're not competing anymore.
Right.
So
right.
It's easy pickings these days. I've heard. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. I've learned my strengths are acquisitions and marketing. Like, I'm really, really, really good at marketing.
Yeah, there was a time there we thought we almost had you on our acquisitions team.
I know.
We're like, we would have been so lucky to have you, but you know your value too much, so you're like, no way, I can do this on my own.
Right.
And good on you, because
yeah, I'm too stubborn. You guys would have been like, get out of here.
There's been a couple people, because there's a few people in the club that have like some real like talent and really have some ability in this industry, and like we've tried to recruit a good portion of these people,
Yeah.
and the smart ones, were like, no way, I'm going to go do this on my own.
Right.
And some of the smarter ones are now working for us.
There you go.
You know.
And you know what I've always thought in the back of my head? I'm like, eventually we're going to figure out our niche where we figured out how to work together.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's
We've done
inevitable.
a couple deals together.
We have,
They've
in
been
fact.
great.
Yeah, they have. And I think we have a deal going right now that
We
you're
do.
supposed to be the agent to list it.
Good.
I think.
Let me know.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's going to happen
Let me know.
eventually. I think it's
Right.
sitting out there waiting for something. I think we had a planned power outage today or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, that
But-
was a pretty big one.
Is that what it
a pretty
was?
Big rehab over there.
Yeah, that'll
What I
take
recall.
forever.
Yeah.
But whatever. We'll get to it. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, the flip market for us has, not dried up. We're moving on because we're trying to move into the tiny home thing,
Yeah.
which you know about.
Absolutely.
So-
I can't tell you how thrilled I am about that. I mean, I heard you guys talking about it just kind of in passing for a couple of years, like it was starting to come up.
Yep.
And I actually got really, really excited about it just recently, like being able to just look deeper into your guys' business plan.
Yeah.
And I got it and I was like, good for you guys. You're going to go crush it, And once I read the business plan, like the light bulb just came on and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. How can I buy land? How many tiny homes can I buy?
Yeah.
I'm just so thrilled for you guys. It's genius. I mean, we have a crisis.
Yeah, we
know,
do.
and-
We went into escrow on a property yesterday that we're going to be buying. This is going to be the first of our tiny home communities that we're going to build.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, we just got into escrow yesterday.
Okay, so
everything
this is
checks
land.
out. This is
For
okay.
tiny
So it's kind of a hybrid. There's a house on the land, but it's a lot of land.
Okay.
So we have to do a split, and then we have to do some special permitting and stuff. But
Awesome.
hopefully we'll see that. Maybe springtime next year or
Okay.
so is when we'll probably have like the whole thing open, and that's going to be the big reveal. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's going to be the big thing. So
I'm so thrilled. I can't wait for it.
we're pumped. It's out in Riverside, and we won't keep it a secret.
Yeah.
We're not ones for keeping anything secret like that. So
Right. I'm sure the whole club will be over there.
Yep,
All
everybody's
the
gonna be
listeners on the
there.
radio will be over there.
we'll have all the city council over there.
I love
And
it.
all the influential people of the Inland Empire will be there.
Yeah.
So it'll be a whole to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we like to do things.
Good.
But the idea is we're trying to solve this $3.5 million housing shortage issue
Right.
that we have, and we need more affordable housing in California. I mean, you can't build affordable housing anymore. It's just the problem.
You absolutely can't. And you can't find them. You can't buy them. I mean, it's every single day. I'm getting 10, 12 calls a day
Mm-hmm.
about there's just not affordable housing out there.
Yeah.
People can't afford to buy with
And
our,
there's people that can qualify, but they're like qualified for like 200,000. But
right.
what are you
Good
going to
luck
buy for
finding a house
200,000?
Right. Mobile home.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
one
have
option.
A couple. You can call me.
Yeah, I know. You do like the mobile home model. I was going to get into that later, though.
No, you know what? I actually got out of the mobile home model.
But you have some listings right now.
I don't have a mobile home listing.
I thought you
no.
said you did. Okay,
I've got a
never
couple
mind.
under 200 coming up. That would
Okay.
help somebody for the affordable housing stuff. But the mobile homes, they're just a little bit trickier.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like your guys' model is going to be the way to go over a mobile home, right?
Yeah, well, mobile homes aren't mobile.
Right.
That's the biggest problem with them.
Yeah, and they're very hard to finance
Yep.
because the banks look at them as mobile,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't want to finance something mobile because it's a lot riskier.
Which
right,
is funny
for them.
because we all have these things we drive around in every day
I
that are mobile,
know.
and banks don't have a problem lending on
Right.
those. So it's really just a stigma.
Right,
But
right.
like mobile homeowners are having issues because the parks have changed hands a lot lately.
Yeah.
So like old park owners have kind of aged out and they've sold their parks to younger people or institutional investment companies, and these companies have come in and like raised space rents, in some cases almost doubling them.
Outrageous.
Outrageous. And now the mobile
I looked
home
at a few, and it's like I can pay a mortgage.
Yeah.
For that,
Yep.
it's It's
there's
pretty
a
sad.
mobile home community not too far from my house. Same thing. I was like, am I reading this right? Is space rent really like $1,200?
Yes, I know which one you're talking about too.
And I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Like I could pay a mortgage with this because I also have to pay my my note on the mobile home itself. Like
exactly, it does end up being a mortgage, and it's harder to finance to begin with.
Yeah.
So
So like that's a lot of these people are having a hard time because they own the mobile home and they're in these parks, but the space rent just went up like crazy, and like you want to go somewhere where the space rent's still cheap,
Right.
But where is it? Where's the space rent cheap? So, and even if you found something, you still have to pay to move this thing, and like to move a single wide can cost like $3,000.
Yeah.
To move a double wide could be as much as like $20,000.
Right.
Because you have to unfuse it, get it back ready for roadworthiness.
Yeah.
It's
You know, I'm really excited about like the tiny home community that you had used to talk about. I don't know if that's still in the plans. I'm sure it is.
That's the first thing we're going to be doing.
The community.
That's what this house we just
and
got
I feel like
for.
there'll still be like a ton of pride of ownership, and I don't know. I'm like imagining your dream over here, right? But I'm like seeing like a community garden, and just like a community space.
Of course, yeah, it's communal, in a way, because like you want that's sort of. When you talk about the tiny home community is like as a whole, like, all the people that are in this world of tiny homes and stuff like that, they have a very social kind of outlook towards things. They don't want them to just be a little space that you spend all your time in this box because.
Right. Exactly. I think that's the whole purpose, right?
It is.
That you don't live the rest of your life inside
a box, and we started building these big homes. That's pretty much all you can build now if you want to make profit as a developer. Right. So these big homes, like people are stuck in them because you have everything you need inside this home. You have no reason to go outside.
Right.
But if you have a small little, small living space, the outside becomes your other living space, your communal area to spend with like, your friends and neighbors. Like there was a time where you like knew who your neighbors were and your kids would grow up together and you do all this fun stuff together. And now like I've lived in the same neighborhood for like 12 years now, and I don't know my neighbors
that
really? Well. Like the people behind me, I don't know them at all.
Yeah.
Like the people next to me, I know them because I see them all the time. But
yeah, you know what? I can't remember what somebody called that. It's like a garage door community or something, like where you basically just pull up and open the garage door, and then that's you don't talk to anybody anymore. You're not even.
Your interaction is with people on the weekends when you're like removing weeds from your backyard. You know, like. Oh, you guys are trimming your palm trees. Cool.
Yeah,
what was your name
a friendly wave across the
Yeah.
street here and there. Absolutely.
Howdy, neighbor. You see him at the grocery store. You're like, hey, I recognize you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? You're like, I'm your neighbor. You're like, oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so good. I'm glad. I'm really excited to just
It's going to be cool. I mean, who knows? It could just be a completely horrible idea, and we'll find out. But,
Wouldn't be your first.
It wouldn't be our first time we've had a horrible idea, I know, and it just blew up right in our faces.
I know.
That's entrepreneurship, though.
Right, isn't it?
Yep.
Absolutely.
I
So
mean,
I heard
you bought a bar one time.
I did. I bought and sold a bar.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Is it like the two best days of a bar owner's life is the day they buy it, the day they sell it?
You know what? It actually was. I never thought about it that way. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, and so I heard recently, like, it's not failing, it's your first attempt in learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And I wouldn't say that I failed as a bar owner. It was a successful business.
Your bar was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of good times over there. And we ran the meetup group over there with the cash flow game and everything. That was a ton of fun. But it was exhausting. I failed in my sense as like being an entrepreneur. Like the business ran me. I didn't run the business.
Yeah.
The structure, the systems, like there was none of that. It was just kind of my own little world of chaos.
Yep.
That if I removed myself from, then it was a like massive everything's on fire chaos. It
of course.
Just didn't run, without me.
It's tough. It's tough to like make a business run on its own.
Right.
Like you really need to have like top people that are just good at what they do.
Yeah,
people
and
you
it's
can
more
trust.
so I feel like it's the leadership going down, right? It was setting up those systems and that foundation and that structure from the ground up,
right?
So that those top people knew what they were doing and they had systems and manuals and direction on what to do.
Yeah.
And by the time I got so far into it, 6 years into it, I learned that, I think I read the E-Myth like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
As being a business owner. And it was a great book. The last time I read it, it was like he was speaking to my soul. It was like every single word. Every single chapter, I was like, this is my life. This is my life. What do you even do? And at that point, it was the decision for me, like my passion was real estate. My passion was investing and helping people and solving problems and
yeah, and the bar was literally dragging you down and taking all your time away from what you wanted to focus your time on.
Yeah, I was working 16, 17, 18 hours a day and then getting 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls. It was just nuts. So I was still working 8 hours a day as an investor, and then I was working 8 hours a night as a bar owner.
Right.
And so
working full-time as a mom.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah, and then sleep if I'm lucky type of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Living on Red Bull and coffee. And
yeah, exactly. That's healthy. That's a really healthy lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah. I would recommend that to anybody. No,
sure,
not really.
Sure, if you want to see the grave early. So
yeah.
So then as the new business, like starting a new business, that all really clicked in. I sold the bar. I made that decision. It was like, okay, I revamped this thing completely, which I don't want to do because it's no longer my passion. Or I learned from from these lessons, these amazing lessons that I got to
Yeah.
learn, and I get to start my new business a different way. So now, as like a real estate agent building a team, I have never been so structured, and so like I'm putting together systems. I'm putting together
Right.
a foundation. When I do something, I'm like, I need to make that a checklist.
Yeah.
There's checklists for everything. There's systems for everything. Pretty
Yep.
soon here will be a little mini McDonald's, just,
Yeah.
plug and play.
I mean,
This
I'm
is how
I'm
you
a
do it.
systems person too, and I think
Yeah.
it's something you grow into at some point
Right.
because, especially in real estate, there's a lot of moving parts.
Yes.
And like you should see our checklist. We have them for buying and for selling. I mean, those are the two sides of
Right.
our transaction. Plus, we have all the checklists of things to do during a deal.
Yeah.
Paying utilities, starting utilities, like
You don't even think about those things sometimes, and
Those are
just
just-
how many little line item things there are to do.
Yeah, sure. But you think like at certain points of time, like we had like many houses at one point.
Oh,
like,
yeah, you
and we're
guys were
paying,
nuts.
We're paying utilities on all these things. Like if you figure you're getting 4 utility bills
Yeah.
for each property, and we had 28 houses at one point.
And you guys were always
We're
so
flipping-
mellow.
Yeah,
Like-
because we built systems to like
Right.
handle these things. It's
Absolutely.
like when a bill comes in, it gets scanned in, put here. Like we save it to this spot. It gets paid on Friday, like we always
Yeah.
paid them. It's like
And you know what? You guys were actually, looking back, such amazing role models for me to be able to implement that early on in my career. So
Yeah.
I started mentoring with you guys on your
Yep.
first program, and what was the accelerator?
Accelerator,
The accelerator, and that it taught me so much, being able to be in your environment and in your world, and
Yeah.
seeing all of this, what would be chaos,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like one of my team members, she likes to joke about real estate, and she says real estate is like riding a bike, except the bike's on fire and you're on fire and everything's on fire.
yeah, exactly.
And you guys were never like that. You see a lot of real estate agents who everything's like urgent and
Oh, yeah.
chaos and like manic, and like it's
Well, like the funny thing
crazy.
about real estate is that nothing is that important to be done
Yes.
right this second. If it's
Yes.
that important, we'll say no. Like if
Right.
anybody's ever trying to rush us on a deal, like something's up. That's
Yeah.
just the way we think of it. So if they're like, oh, we need this, we need you to sign this thing right now. We need this disclosure right now. Be
Right.
like, I'm not in the office. I'll
Absolutely.
be able to sign it tomorrow. But if you need it right now, you can just cancel the deal.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
to be
there'll
fair now, so as an investor, I didn't feel urgent about things.
Right.
When I got into actually being a real estate agent, everything felt urgent, right? And I realized what it was, and I've been able to pinpoint it and like get rid of it. And so what
Okay,
it
I want to
is
hear. I want to hear your take. 'Cause
Yeah,
I have my
well-
own take on it.
So real estate is very emotional for buyers or sellers. It's
Yep.
a crazy roller coaster.
Yes.
Like it's the biggest financial transaction you're going to make,
Yeah.
in
It's
your
a
lifetime for
huge
most
number
people,
they're looking
right?
at, yeah.
Exactly. And so there's so much going on. It's so highly stressful. Their emotions are a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
They are up and down and sideways and all over the place. And so as an agent, like you kind of take that on because they're urgent and you're just like trying to do your best for them to
Yeah.
keep them happy. And you're putting that urgency on everybody else all at the same time.
Sure.
And that my first couple of months of trying to live that way was it wasn't fun. It was
No.
hellish. It was miserable. So once I realized, like, wait a minute, my job is to be the professional here. Like,
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Right,
So
exactly.
my job is to stay even and steady and mellow
Mm-hmm.
because I know how this is going to go. I know there's going to be moments,
Yep.
right, where things don't go perfectly well, but I also know how to handle those moments and,
Yeah.
and how to solve problems. And as soon as I realized that, everything else, like the urgency went away for me, and I
Mm-hmm.
was able to help my clients with that too. Is like, it's okay. Like,
Right.
we can hold hands. We're gonna get
Yeah,
through
exactly.
this. And
This is fine.
Yeah, I do
This
this
is
every single
expected.
day. Yeah, you do this once every 10 years or
Right.
20 years, and I do this every day.
Okay,
So-
well, you pretty much have my take on it. So like I know, like exciting, but yeah, that's what it is. I mean, people they get very frantic, and it's
Yeah.
an emotional thing for a lot of people. And as an investor, this is why it's confusing for us because this is not an emotional thing.
I
This
would
is a business
disagree.
thing.
Well, okay,
For
as
some
a
investors,
seasoned
maybe.
investor like you, yes, I
Yeah.
work with a lot of investors who
It's their first deal.
Yeah, or it's their first handful, and they're worse than my.
Oh, I'm sure they
they're
are.
worse than my regular stuff, but they've got a lot riding on it.
Well,
It's-
they're like so. I mean, and I love these people. Like I know a lot of people that are like first time or very new investors. Like obviously, I've met thousands
right,
of them
right.
at this
You've
point.
mentored all of them.
Yeah, I've mentored a portion of them, maybe. But they're playing business. You know what I mean? They're like,
Right.
and like in business, you're supposed to be so cutthroat, and you're supposed to be so
Right.
like, the bottom line is the most important line, like all these things. It's like, I don't know. I don't take stock in all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
I used to kind of have that, like that when I had that solopreneur mentality where I'm like, every part of this, like every dollar that comes into this deal is my dollar,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's gonna stay mine. I'm not gonna share it with anybody. This
Right.
is all my
Scarcity,
money.
though, right?
Yeah, it's scarcity
As soon as you
mindset.
let that go, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's like freedom.
Right.
Like,
And it's
then
funny.
things just start pouring in. You
They
can't
do.
stop it from coming in. Like,
Yeah, then
as
all of a
soon
sudden
as
you're
let
dealing
go.
with volume, and
Yeah.
once you start dealing with volume, you have no other choice but to systematize.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
like because we've had contractors over the years, and like
Yeah.
I had a contractor at one point. I had him in 2 deals at one time, and like this guy was just frantic.
Oh no.
Like he was
Oh,
panicking
yeah,
about
no.
everything.
No,
And he was like,
you're like, you have to go.
yeah, he was like my first guy, like, and he was good at what he
yeah.
did when he was doing one project. But when I got 2, it's like, wait a minute, so I got to start demo on this, and we're not even done with this one yet. He's like,
Yeah.
his head started, bouncing around in funny ways, and I don't know, he went black for a little
Right.
bit. I don't know, but he was, but he that was insane to him. So
Yeah.
like we had to get to somebody eventually that could handle
That could understand
28
and have their own
deals.
systems.
Right.
And so I feel the same way now with all of my different affiliates that I
Mhm.
work with. And I guess the audience doesn't know, like, I've only been a real estate agent with my license for just over a year.
Yeah.
So when people hear that, they're like, oh, she's a noob, right?
Right.
Well, in all of real estate with the investing and the agent side, I'm probably more like 5 years. I don't actually know. I'd have to go back and see. But in my first year, I mean, I think I did 36 transactions in my first year. In the last 4 months, I'm on schedule to do 60. We're going for 80, but I'm on schedule to do 60 this year. So that was really quickly like, hey, learn what you're doing in this side of the world, and then do it really fast and really quick, like blow up really quickly,
Yeah.
right? You have to learn to do it well.
Well,
really quickly
you're not
with
new
that
to
kind
real
of
estate at all, because you were working for Chicago Title, like
Oh,
what?
that's true.
Wasn't that like 10
That's
years
true,
ago
more
or
than
15 years
15
ago?
years ago, I was I guess so. Yeah, I
you're
was
not new to
I
the
was
business.
in the world for
You're
sure.
in the world, so
For
yeah,
sure.
like it was funny because Steve, also my business partner, he's been in real estate
Yes.
for equally as long as
Right.
you, if not just a
Longer.
little longer.
Yep.
But he he didn't become an agent. I think he's been an agent since like 2006 or something. I don't know. But I remember he went and took the agent test. Like he didn't study or anything. He went and
Oh,
took
I
it,
believe it.
just bombed it. Because like what he knows about real estate is like
It's
investor.
not, right, exactly. That's not what's on the test.
Yeah, and like
absolutely.
took it the second time, still didn't study, bombed it again.
That's funny.
Third time was a charm for him.
Yeah.
So, but because the third time he finally like took all the practice tests and answered the questions the way they expected them to be answered. Because
it's just like anything else, right? You don't learn in school what you learn in the real day-to-day life of doing the job, and that's how the real estate test is. Like
exactly.
Any other
So-
schooling that I see. So.
And he's he's not one to play the game. Like
Yeah.
he's one to like tell it how it is, right? So like he knows how all the people would actually do things. Like I got asked last night, like, should I pull a permit and all this stuff and work with a licensed contractor? I'm like, absolutely. Every single time you need to work with a licensed contractor, and you need to always pull a permit.
Right.
However, nobody actually does either of those things. So,
Yeah.
just take it for what it is.
Exactly.
But my advice as a radio personality and as a public figure is you need to absolutely work with a contractor who's licensed.
For
and
me, with the
insured.
non-licensed contractors at this point, so I guess I got sidetracked, but like with the affiliates, like it's working with affiliates. No, it was me. My ADD's kicking in, but it's working with professionals that have systems and that know what they're doing, and that's a licensed contractor to me. Like I've hired the other guys, and I've had to literally go myself and like scrape up the tile before it's set,
Yeah.
And so just. Yeah, to me, that's the way to go, is just do it once the right way, and you don't ever have to go clean up a mess.
Exactly. And there's plenty of guys out there that have that same mentality, but then there's some guys that are like, no, I like doing it twice because I get paid twice. So, they're the guys you don't want to be hiring.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we've hired them on, unknowingly before.
Yeah.
And, they're the worst.
Me too. I'm like, I could save a couple bucks if I go with this guy.
Yeah.
And then I'm always like, that was stupid. That actually
Yeah, why
cost.
did I do that?
Yeah, I won't do that again, for sure.
Yep. So, yeah, we're dealing with that on this. I just bought a new property recently, and,
Okay.
it's like we're now on our second water heater, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. That's hard. So how do you guys find your amazing contractors? And I mean, I know you've been in business for a long time, and you guys are very well known. So I imagine they come flocking to you. But
yeah, but we also get people that want us to put them to the they want us to work with them because they want to get in on some of the pie, basically.
Right.
So, we have sort of a philosophy of hire quickly and fire quickly.
Yeah.
Give them their shot. We'll let you try it out, but. You make one mistake, especially early on, you're gone.
Absolutely.
You're done. Here's your last check. Get out of here.
Right.
And we won't ever be calling you again. And, you blew it, basically.
Yeah.
So, most of the guys at this point, though, we have a pretty established team. But, occasionally one of our guys is busy, and I got to find somebody, like for this water heater, for example. My guy was busy. He was like, I literally can't do it. And I needed it done, like, today. So, we had to call somebody that he recommended. And fortunately, they worked out, which was good.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
It's just one of those things.
I mean, it's not like I'm always in hiring and recruiting process, right? We have more business than I know what to do with. And so I'm always looking, but I'm finally learning that there's like assessments and like actually personality tests and assessments and stuff that I can put these people through, and I'm loving every bit of it. So,
right.
So I'm sure you've done the DISC personality test.
Never have. DISC?
What? DISC?
DISC. Is it like
it's
DISC?
the DISC.
DISC, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this?
So, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have even brought it up.
No, I'm excited now because my wife actually sent me a personality test the other day.
Well, I'm going to bomb explaining it here on the radio, but it's just a different personality test.
You're no expert on personality tests.
So
this is one you like to use.
The D personality is like the very dominant, direct, it's that personality, right?
Okay.
Like
I might know somebody like that.
Right. Yeah. Yes. The I personality is the influencer. So it's the outgoing and the me that doesn't ever shut up and like constantly interrupts you. I'm very high I. We're the party animal. We're the life of the party type of person. High I.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. The S, I call it sensitive. I know some other people use different words for it, but it's to me, it's like the sweetheart. It's like the mother that wants to take care of everybody and is just super loving. And
would that be the person that basically leads with their emotions more than their brain? Like their heart leads them more often?
And there's some better like descriptive words. If you Google DISC, it'll pull up all of the different personality traits of the 4 different personalities. Okay. And so then the C is the very cautious, compliant, like they're the analytical, they're your engineers and things like
Got
that.
it.
And so
they need all the information before they make a decision.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, nobody's one of these. You're going to be varying degrees of each one of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And different personalities have different strengths to a degree, right? I mean, people have different skills, but the different personality traits have different strengths.
Right.
So like I'm crazy high I, and then I'm a D. And so I'm a kind of that quote unquote natural salesperson, if there is one.
Yeah.
I just like to talk. I just like people, and I like making connections, and that's kind of my thing.
And you like winning.
And I like winning.
Which I guess would be that would be the D side right there.
D.
This one my wife sent me was 16personalities.com, like 16personalities.com.
Okay.
And like
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, I mean I took this thing and of course I was like, you're the CEO type guy or whatever, that's how it was for me.
But you have a lot of C in you because of all of like the analytical, and I don't know if it was learned, like if you learned the C because you're a business owner and you had to pay attention to numbers and stuff, or if you love the
That's
numbers.
actually how I was pretty much my entire life. Was very like, I'm still fairly cautious, believe it or not. Like, I'm outgoing, and I have no problem, but I'm also shy. Like there's certain situations I just, I don't really talk much.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily shy. Sometimes I'm just taking it all in because I do like to hear both sides before I make a decision.
Right.
Like sometimes it frustrates people around me that, expect me to just automatically take their side because of my affiliation with them. But I'm like, the other side.
I would be surprised. I feel like you probably have the most rare personality combination, which is like the DC. It's very rare because they're contradictory, right?
Yeah.
Like this very dominant and this very cautious person.
Yeah.
But I can see that with you. Like you're very driven, you're a go-getter. You always get it done and you're very successful in all your businesses. But then you're very analytical as well.
Yeah.
So I'm jealous. I would take your personality in a heartbeat.
Yeah, like Excel is like one of my favorite things to do, like which is nerdy as heck.
Right.
But, whatever. It's
Absolutely. So it's fun to play with. So I use that a lot now. I use it when I'm hiring. So I put out all my applications. Yep. And then when they come in to apply, the next move is like, yeah, great, give me your resume. We're going to do an assessment now.
Okay.
And it's not, I mean, there is no wrong personality. I mean, everybody's their own unique person, right? But there's certain personalities that fit certain roles better. And so it's just knowing about where they're going to be happy and where they're going to work the best and fit in the best environment and everything.
Absolutely.
And so it's great.
It's so crucial. Like Stephen and I, when we did our most recent hiring, in fact, like Joanna was one of the people. She got put through it. She could tell you all about our examination. We built this whole customized test because me and Steve, we would be late at night giggling, texting back and forth about the questions we wanted to add to this
I know.
thing.
I think I took the questions
Did you?
for the academy.
For the
accelerator.
And that was a much more simplistic version. Like we made a much more complicated one
not surprised.
because we wanted somebody in the office that could be our admin, like somebody that could actually run the office, you know, and like we really need somebody with a lot of different characteristics. So like, you know, we had all these questions in there, like, you're at a party, like, are you going to talk into a new group of people, you know, your friends, like these types of things, like, you know, how often you have people over your home, like, you know, like how many cups of coffee do you drink a day? Like we had stuff like.
So you guys made all this up, but I mean, I guess because you made it, you know how to read the results.
Exactly.
But I wouldn't even know where to start with reading. Am I horrible at interviewing, right? Because I'm just like, so tell me about yourself. You know,
exactly.
Like I'm not really learning anything
everybody's
about
going to tell you like what you want to hear, but with weird questions like that nobody knows what exactly you want to know.
Right.
You know, so you just say answer them honestly, and like it's really just going to be the best policy going forward for everybody. Because if you're dishonest in our personality test, we're going to put you in a position that's not going to be right for you.
Right.
You know, so instead, you know, we had her do all these things, and like, you know, like we wanted to know, like, we want somebody that had very specific qualities, and like Joanna had, I think she scored like, you know, 98 out of 100 basically. So like that's why she's now our admin, you know, like amazing. Running the show.
Yep.
So. You know, but like, and we actually had somebody who scored one better than her.
Ooh,
you know, I know Joanna, if she's listening, no, so we did score one better, but she didn't want the job, so you know, too bad.
Yep. You guys got the right one.
We got the right one, yeah.
We got lucky.
Yep, this other person, they had something else going on that they thought was better, so good for them.
So with my test that you guys sent me way back when, there was a question on there that was like, if you could be any animal, what would you? I don't even remember what I put. I don't even want to try to think. And why? And I'm like, where did these guys come up with this? Like, what is going on in their brain? What does that possibly tell you about anybody? But I guess it could tell a lot.
Well, I think the question, if I remember that one correctly, I think that one was asking if you could be an animal in the wild or an animal in a zoo or like where you'd want to be. Like, you know, because we wanted to find out, like, are you okay with, because what we wanted to get out of that, and you probably answered it this way, which was to be an animal in the wild.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure my animal was a dolphin, and I think it was something because they're like super social, right? They have a ton of fun, and they live in groups, and so that's my high I coming through is like the super social animal, But you guys, all of the questions were structured like that. And I'm like, is this serious? Do I answer this? What is this all about? I love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could trademark it.
We built our own just because we had very specific personality traits we were looking for. So we customized a test, and we made about 5 questions for each thing we were looking for, so you could sort of have a check and balance.
Right. I'd like to see you guys do that with your contractors. So, Mr. Contractor.
Man. we don't do that much. It's like, okay, let me see like another job you've done. Oh, you did. Oh, you've worked for so and so. Okay, cool.
Right.
You're hired. Like, it's pretty simple there.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's like, all right, give me your bid.
Speaks. Yeah.
Yep. And like, let me see what kind of contract I'm getting from you. If it's like, you know, written on a napkin and it's like folded 100 times, I'm probably just gonna be like, yeah, no, we're probably not gonna go with it. I mean, you know, I want some level of professionalism.
Absolutely.
But yeah, there's a difference there. Like, it's people that you work with like on a daily basis, you see all day.
Yeah.
Like, you need to also enjoy being around these people.
Right.
You know, so like we have to also like you just as a person. Like, that's what's hard too.
It is hard. It's really hard. It's not easy being the owner, right? I mean, for a D, it's very easy. They're just like, whatever, you're fired.
Right,
Those are like the bosses. But it's not for me. I mean, for me, I'm like, again, the high I makes me want everybody to like me and like to be super sociable, and I like everybody and I chat, and so I'm not that very like you're fired type of boss.
Right.
And so,
But sometimes you got to be.
I know. And I can pull it out when I need to. But
And because, I mean, what's important, I think, and this is going a different way, and I kind of like it.
We're not even on real estate
I know, but I
anymore,
kind of like it
it's
because,
good.
I mean, this is entrepreneurial stuff.
Mhm.
Like, as a business owner, like, you have to have people. Like, if you're doing it on your own, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
Like, so you need to have people. And it's important for the people that you have working for you to understand what the vision is. Like, what's the goal? Where are we going? Like,
Yes.
you're paying them in exchange for their time, right? And their effort. So, like, they need to understand what they're working towards. Like, what's the goal? So if you're not cluing them into, like, the goals of everything,
Right.
they don't understand the purpose of it. And they're just going to kind of be like, this is boring.
It's just a job.
Every day,
It's just
Lisa
coming
makes
to
me,
work and
every day Lisa makes me
exactly.
press this button. Every 5 minutes I have to
Exactly.
press this button.
Yeah.
And if she has no idea why she's pressing it, she's going to get bored with it. But if you're like, every time you press that button, we get this much closer to a freaking balloon going off with all this confetti that
Right.
pops out of it, and dollar bills are going to rain down from the
Yeah.
sky, and
I
you get to be the
100%
one
agree.
that's right underneath the balloon.
Absolutely. No, I 100%
it gets really
agree.
exciting then.
And like going back to what you said, like everybody, especially in real estate, I see a lot of agents trying to like struggle through it alone, and there's too much. If you're really doing the job right, there's way too much to do. I mean, you're prospecting, you're marketing, you're selling, you're taking the calls, you're running around. It's too much. And
Yeah.
so I always say it's like you're juggling glass balls.
Yeah.
But if you drop one, that's somebody's whole life, and it
Right.
shatters. It doesn't just like dent or like bounce back. It shatters.
Yeah.
And it's too much. You can't take that kind of it's too much responsibility, right?
It is.
It's somebody's entire life. And so by having a team and putting the right people on the seats, like I joke, I'm a negative C. I'm not really negative, but I'm like 0 C, right? I'm very organized in my personal life, but when it comes to spreadsheets and Excel, like you can have it. I don't
Yeah.
want to, I like it clean. I like it done for me, but I'm not going to be the one to sit down and do it forever.
Yeah.
But we need that in real estate. That's a big part of our tracking and
Sure.
our numbers and all of this other stuff. So trying to do it all alone, like you can't be everybody's everything.
Right.
But putting the right people in the right seats on the bus and hiring the right people and growing a team, and then really like reaffirming them, like you're saying, that what they're doing is just as important to the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might be my face on the card that's selling the house, but there's a team of 20 people behind me
Right.
that helped, like that put that together
Sure.
and that built this entire team. And
Yeah, and
and
there's
it's so
nothing
important.
wrong with your face being on it, because there's a good chance all the people that you have working for you don't want their face on the card
Right.
anyway. Like
Yeah.
they're just happy having a good job that's paying them,
Right.
and like somebody that it's a fun and working environment and stuff like that. Because I mean,
Yeah.
most people don't really want to be an entrepreneur. Like I've talked to them, I think they're weird. They think I'm weird,
Yeah.
and we'll just leave it at that. But
Yeah.
it's like they're
it's
just
a different kind of security. Like,
Right.
right.
They
So-
just want a good job,
Exactly.
and like if it's fun in the process, like all the better.
Yeah.
And if they get
job
good
that
benefits.
they're appreciated and making a difference. I mean,
Yeah.
we're like, as we grow here, I've got these big dreams of kind of everything that we're going to provide, but I can't wait till we have this. So I'm all about personal development. I love it. I'm addicted to it. I don't know if it's a good thing to be like addicted and talking about personal development in the same
Yeah.
sentence, but I absolutely love it. So I was just telling one of my team members the other day that I want a library full of personal development books. And this
Mm-hmm.
is in the office, and you take them as you want. And in fact, if you ever want to sign up for any type of like education or personal development class, we got you. We're going to take care of it
Mm-hmm. Nice.
because we want you to grow as well. Like
I'm
the
going to take all the
stronger you
Tony
are-
Robbins courses then.
I know. They could get a little expensive after I thought about
Might
it.
go
I'm like,
work for Lisa.
I know. You're welcome. Come join us. So yeah, it's just about helping other people grow. I don't sell houses. I'm in marketing and I'm in growth and coaching.
Yeah.
And so the more I coach my team, that's part of my job. And then the more I market houses, that's the other part of my job. I don't buy and sell houses.
It's one of my favorite ideas. I have a library at the office, and I just checked 3 books out to somebody the other day.
I love it.
So, I worked for a company years ago when I was doing financial planning, and this company, it was a Scientologist-owned company. I'm not a Scientologist,
crazy, yeah.
but they made it mandatory. Every person in the office needs to spend 1 hour in the library. This was a big room they had in the place. So you'd be down there with the president, and they had a librarian. This is a full-time position for this
Wow.
person. His job was while you're reading your book, he's going to come up to you after you've been into it for like 15 minutes. He's going to take your book from you,
love it.
spin it around. He's going to go back a few pages, kind of skim through it, and then he'd ask you questions about what you're reading.
That's happening.
To
Just
make
so
sure.
you know, I'm implementing that.
Oh, it was one of the best things I've ever had at an
so
employer.
good.
You know, like at first it's kind of like, really? Like I should be on the phone, like calling
Yeah.
clients and prospects. Like,
Right.
you know, like, do you really want me for an hour of my productive part of my day? Like,
That's what makes
but,
you who, yeah.
Yeah, they had tons of books. They had all the Scientology doctrine you could read if you wanted to, and they said if you want to read it, you can. It's open to you. You don't have to be a Scientologist to work here.
That's
You know,
cool.
but it's there. This is the section it's in.
Sure.
You know, like, and they said the stuff on management's actually really good, and you know they weren't wrong. It actually is really
Yeah.
interesting stuff. I mean,
Well, right.
you'll
I
get
mean, we
L.
don't
Ron
have
Hubbard
to get super deep into that,
right.
but what they built.
Right, you look at what they built, and like
Yeah.
L. Ron Hubbard documented it, like,
Yeah.
and like it's pretty amazing, like because it talks about hierarchy and like how to build an organization, and like
Wow.
you know, say what you want about
Sure.
their doctrine,
Yeah,
but
take it where you're going to take it, but yeah.
you know, like the management stuff actually has some real basis in reality, and so does he wrote a book for children called Learning How to Learn. L. Ron Hubbard did, and it just teaches you like the basics on how to learn something, how to read, and then how to interpret what you read, and like it tells you if you don't understand something, go back and look up the definition, then read it again. Like it's real simple stuff. You know,
That's
but like,
awesome.
like he started as an
That's really
educator,
cool.
and apparently, you know, he was fairly smart at it. He's a brilliant guy.
Yeah.
You know,
And he built what he
built
wanted
he
to
built what he
build.
built, and you know, say what you want about what David Miscavige does and all this stuff that's going on with it nowadays.
Right.
But that's beside the point. This
Sure.
company was great, where they had this
Exactly.
library and a
Exactly.
dedicated librarian that made you read, and they had a ton of personal development stuff,
Yeah.
business education, you know, like all kinds of things in there.
You know, it reminds me of I just heard in a book the other day called Drive, and I don't know the author, I'm sorry, but he was saying that at Google, they have like a 20% free time. And so 20% of your day is spent doing whatever it is that you want to do.
Yeah.
So there's no, you know, job or anything function that you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And that's where their best developments come from.
Right.
Is people on this 20% free time. It's stuff like that. Like it's letting people have that freedom and helping them grow, and it's just empowering them to be better.
Yeah,
to
better
work for
at-
you, right?
Exactly.
Like, yeah. So that's amazing.
And you know, like you hear about all those tech companies up in the Silicon Valley, like, you know, they'd have like these rec rooms with like arcade games and ping
Yeah,
pong tables
right.
and pool tables and all this fun stuff, because like if you're working in a job where you need to use your brain like all the time,
It's exhausting.
You need a break.
Oh my gosh, it's exhausting.
You know, yeah, to be a
I'm
creative.
not a huge fan of the whole like open concept thing going
You don't
on.
like that?
No, I don't, because I need to focus, and the distraction, the constant, nonstop distractions. Like
Yeah.
just because the room's open doesn't mean, and I'm a talker, but it doesn't mean you need to talk to me. Like
Right.
I'm busy and I'm loud, and so trying to like have a serious phone conversation with my loud self. Nobody else can talk over me because I'm so loud in the office.
Right.
You know? So yeah, I still prefer people having specific offices, and then the rec room, like the playroom.
I think they have that too. Like there's
Okay.
places like at these open concept places where you can have like a private area, you know,
Okay,
because
that
it
makes
is
sense. Yeah.
like not everybody could work in a, you know,
Right.
constantly moving, like, you know, balls flying up in the air, you know, like
That's exactly how I
for me,
picture
I'd be
it.
like, shoo, shiny objects flying
Yes.
around. Hey, this is great.
Yeah,
you know?
that's me too. That's how I picture it.
So we're running pretty short on time, and I'm
All
sure
right.
you want people to reach out to you because you are
Sure.
the
I mean,
dream
as
team real
always,
estate, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're a local real estate company. We can help you buy and sell. In fact, we guarantee results.
Wow.
I don't know that you'll hear that around anywhere else.
I don't,
but-
especially not during deals week.
Right. No, especially during deals
Especially.
week,
I
we
want those
will
guarantees.
guarantee those results. And
Awesome.
so our systems, they work, and we know that they work, so we can guarantee that they work. We're also always recruiting. I mean, we have an abundance of business. We're growing, and we could use all the help we can get. So if you need some deals, come find us.
Yeah, and how do we find you?
Oh, good question. So I'm Lisa at dreamteam-re.com. That's actually my email. You can find
Okay.
me on Facebook, dreamteam-re, or I'll give you my cell. You want the cell?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. 951-204-3544. That's actually my personal cell phone.
Okay, wow. So
Right?
you're going to get all kinds of floods
Let's
of phone
blow it
calls
up.
now.
Yep.
I mean,
I'm used to it.
the listenership on this show has gotten insane.
I know.
So, you know, it's pretty amazing to see the show grow, because this thing just started off as like me and Steve talking to Jim
remember.
like almost every week for some reason, because we didn't know anybody else to want to come on. But,
Yeah.
you know, now I got to fight people off with a stick. You know, be
Right.
like, hey, you can't come on this week. We got plenty of people lined up. You can come on in 6 weeks now.
Yeah.
So awesome! I'm glad they have a way to get in touch with you. And I got like less than a minute to tell everybody out there that if you are interested in becoming a real estate investor, or if you already are a real estate investor and you just want to get to know more real estate investors and grow your network, come on out to the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. We get together a few times a month, and you can go on meetup.com to find out more information on when we're having our next meetups. Just go on meetup.com, look up the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club, and find out all the different things we have going on. And thank you all for tuning in this week to the Flip Flop Investors Show. And I want to thank my special guest, Lisa Mayohat, for coming on, or Lisa Mayo, however you want to call it. And we'll see you all again next week on the Flip Flop Investors Show. And have a good week, everyone. Make it a good deals week. And, we'll see you all again next time. I'm just keeping it going here. I don't know why. But we'll see you all again next week. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Attention business owners, you and your customers are listening to this commercial right now. Face it, every business needs customers, even yours. The Sports Circus is a primetime nationally syndicated program that's carried on ABC, NBC, CNBC, and Westwood One News affiliates, plus CBS, Fox, and NBC sports affiliates across North America, with coverage from Hawaii to New York. Also, the Sports Circus is available to the 180 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, and the Sports Circus gets about 4 million website visitors per month, which could click through your website and bring sales. The Sports Circus provides great content featuring celebrity guests from sports and entertainment to our audience every weekday, which your company could greatly benefit from by increasing your visibility, foot traffic, eyeballs to your website, and calls from potential customers. Call us right now at 702-799-9935. Again, 702-799-9935, or email us at info@thesportscircus.com. That's info@thesportscircus.com. Drive your sales today by advertising with the Sports Circus.
KCAA Loma Linda, 1050 AM, 106.5 FM, and now 102.3 FM.
Do you have any questions about legal issues? Have you ever been stopped by a police officer and issued a ticket that you're scared to deal with? Have you ever been in trouble with the law and don't know what to do? Do you have a will or power of attorney question? Is your home being foreclosed upon and you don't know where to turn? Maybe you were given a contract that you don't understand. For freedom and a worry-free solution, call for Legal Shield today at 213-245-1305. It's that simple. You will have access to high-quality law firms that will fight for you for less than $1 a day. Peace of mind is just a call away. That's for Legal Shield. Call 213-245-1305 or visit us at nocourt.us. It's justice for all and not justice for some.